All right, welcome back to the K League United podcast. Now it's time to to really make fools of ourselves and predict how the K League 2 table will look after all is said and done this season. We'll start from 13th up to first, and well, I'll start with Matthew because you haven't done any of this yet. So you're going to do it on
No.
the fly. So
Yeah.
let's see who, from what you've heard so far, who do you think will finish bottom of the table?
And Sangrinas.
Okay.
I think maybe I've just convinced myself. But yeah, I just no. Yeah, they're going. I've said everything I need to say. I've said everything I need to say. Just they are bottom, and I don't think they're going to be anywhere near mid-table in K League 2 for a long, long time.
I think they'll probably finish 13th in K3 as well, to be honest. Andrew, who have you got?
Yeah, it'd be nice if there's a bit more jeopardy at the bottom of the table, wouldn't there? Like I know there's always talk in the future about potential promotion relegations, but I think I don't know if you guys are gonna have the same thing as myself. I think the bottom four were easy enough to predict, not necessarily in the right order, but just who's going to finish the bottom four. But I think 13th is, I would imagine, the easiest one to pick in the entire league. Yeah, so Ansan Greeners 13th.
Okay, I've also gone for Ansan Greeners. We'll go back to Andrew for 12th. Who do you have in there?
It was tough. I've gone for. I'm just. I'm going for from now on in. Certainly up until 9th. I'm going for a lot of teams that are not in Gyeonggi-do. Basically, there's a cohort of teams there just south of Gyeonggi Province. I've gone for Cheongbuk Cheongju just because of the losses. You mentioned those in your preview, Paul. But Peter McCrillis and Jordi Luis are just big losses, and I know they were close to promotion last season, but I think this is going to be a huge drop off for them. So, regrettably, I'm afraid to say, but I think I've got Cheongju finishing in 12th spot.
Fair enough, Matthew.
Cheongnam Asan.
Yeah, I have also put the same. Again, it just comes down to whether the foreigners can make an impact. I think it's such a gamble, isn't it? I mean, obviously, Junior Rocha does have a bit of K League 2 experience with Gimpo, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so that's 12th. Back to you, Matthew, for 11th. Who have you got in 11th?
I've got Cheonan City.
Cheonan City. Okay.
I just didn't sound convinced, Paul.
Fair enough.
No, actually, no. I thought
fans.
they've done some good signings, but I don't think it's enough. So.
Fair enough, Andrew.
Cheongnam Asan, the dizzying heights of 11th. As I said, they spent 30 weeks in a row or something between 9 and 11. This is where they should.
Yeah, I've got Cheongbuk Cheongju in 11th. So it sounds like we've all kind of the bottom four is basically the same, but in a different order. Matthew, who have you got in 10th?
I've got Cheongbuk Cheongju in 10th.
Okay.
Yeah. Mainly because I forgot they had to put them somewhere. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Andrew?
CCFC, Cheonan City.
Yeah, me too. I think they'll be better than last year, obviously, but I just don't think they've got the firepower to get any higher. And really, the top 9, as we'll get to, I think they are the teams who can get promoted. The bottom 4 can't. Basically, is what I think. So, all right, that's the bottom 4. That's the wooden spoon. So they should just have like a split in K League 2, and then like at 9 or 10, and just they can play it out for the wooden spoon. All right, moving up. I think we should go with Matthew first, so he doesn't just copy what Andrew said.
I've got 3 teams in 9th at the moment. I'm just trying to pick which one I want. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say Anyang 9th. Put them in.
All right, Anyang. Andrew.
I got Anyang in 9th as well.
It's a clean sweep, so have I. Yeah, Anyang in 9th for me as well. I just think the foreign signings they've just I don't know. And also, they've lost too many players, like you said, Andrew. They've lost a lot of players, even just their sort of core Korean players. Yeah. That much upheaval is just going to take a bit of time.
Rivals as well. They've lost players to other sides in K League 2. Yeah, it doesn't look good for them. No. I do like their new orange, and I think I like their orange. Their purple and black kit. I haven't quite decided if I like that yet or not, but that's at the moment, a purple jersey is the only thing that looks inspiring about Anyang.
Yeah. Right, up to 8th, Matthew.
Buchon.
Buchon, controversial. Why do you think they're going to miss out on the playoffs then?
Because there's 7 other teams that I've put above them. that I've got carried away with the other teams, and unfortunately that means they're left. But it seems a bit of an odd choice because they are playoff stalwarts; they're always there. So I'll probably regret. There's always regrets for these predictions. I hope nobody takes them that seriously, but that's probably the one I'm going to regret. But it's purely because there's 7 teams higher than them, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Andrew, who have you got there?
I don't know. I feel like every answer should start with "I don't really know." However, and then I've gone for Songnam in 8th. I know they've recruited pretty well, but again, I just think I was toying around between Jeonnam Dragons and Songnam. Basically, I think definitely the other 6 sides are the best teams in the country. Sorry, the best teams in the division. I was toying between Jeonnam and Songnam, but Valdivia has swayed me to put Jeonnam in 7th. So I think it's going to be, even though they're 8th, I have a feeling that Songnam are going to be unbelievably close to 5th.
Fair enough. I've gone for Gimpo, which I kind of regret a little bit now. But I don't think it's more. I think it's more about other teams being a bit stronger, not so much that they are bad. I also think that teams will kind of expect a little bit what to do with them this season. So yeah, Gimpo for me in 8th. I think, but then like last year, there was between 4th and 8th, there was like 5 points between them towards the end of the season. So it doesn't mean they're going to be bad. They might just miss out by a point or 2. But anyway, who have you got in 7th, Matthew?
Gyeongnam.
Gyeongnam.
Just a few too many changes. I think as well, losing Sol Ki-hyun. I don't know. Part of me feels like it probably was the right decision in some respects, but also he had done well with them, but it just never seemed to get over that last step. But I think that there's going to just be a bit of a transition period of them. So 7th, put them in the mid-table.
Fair enough. I also think it's a bit of a mistake for them to have got rid of Sol Ki-hyun because he did a good job considering that they sold his best players every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
They sold Willian. They lost Willian and Hernandez in the same transfer window, and they still finished in the playoffs the year before last. And then last year, obviously, they lost Thiago to Daejeon and still finished in the playoffs. And you have to think, well, what can I do to keep my job? Anyway, that's that. 7th, Andrew, who have you got for 7th?
Plana being gone, Jeonnam Dragons dropped down to 7th.
Wow.
I know Valdivia is still there, but I think he was brilliant. Like I saw Jeonnam a few times last season, and Valdivia is really, really good too. But I think that's why I don't have Gimpo as low as you do, because I think he's going to be massive for Gimpo this season. So yeah, I've gone for Jeonnam Dragons in 7th.
Fair enough. I've gone for Buchon. Just because the top 6 are a bit stronger. Nothing to do with they're particularly bad.
Buchon are the Daegu of K-League 2.
They are. Yeah, they are very much the Daegu of K-League 2. They're not great. They're not bad. They're going to be all right, but probably still miss out. All right. 6th place, Matthew. Who have you got?
Jeonnam. I just tried to build up I tried to build up that they were going to make the playoffs, but
sorry, Ryan.
Sorry, Ryan. It's Jeonnam. So there we go.
Fair enough. Andrew?
I think if Cheongnam Asan are the team that will always finish in 10th, there's something about Buchon. Buchon are going 6th this season. I think they're just going to miss out. I'm delighted that Nielsen's back for another season. He's always a bit of a character in this league, but again, it's really, really tough. But I gone for Buchon. I think they're just going to miss out.
Fair enough. I've gone for Gyeongnam. I don't think Park Dong-hyuk is. I don't know. I just don't think they're going to find. I think it's going to take a bit of time for them to become a sort of a force in this league. They've obviously bought some foreign players come over. I've heard that I forgot which one it is, but one of the Georgian players I've heard is very good.
Yeah.
But you just don't know, do you? It's just a gamble. I suppose you have to sort of wait and see if for a few games and see how these foreign players do, and then you can kind of get a better idea of how these teams might perform. But all right, well now we're moving into the top 5. This is the playoff places, the sort of the teams that probably aren't going to win promotion by finishing 5th. But Matthew, who have you got in 5th?
Soliland, and I'm pretty sure I say 5th for them every year, but Soliland 5th. This year the hype might be real. I think Osmar in the middle of the pitch. I've bought in on the hype. Kim Do-kyun's just going to chuck everybody forward. Yeah, go on, Soliland 5th.
Yeah, Andrew.
Gyeongnam. One of the reasons I've gone for Gyeongnam is I just think that you mentioned those foreign players before. They seem to recruit well, I think, with the foreign players throughout the years. And Zurab is the Georgian guy. Looks like he's going to be a pretty tidy footballer. And Kim Hyuk-jin from Anyang as well. They score goals. Gyeongnam do, and I think they will be okay this season if they can just shore up that defense a little bit more. I'm kind of excited to see what the new management does as well. I agree that maybe Sogyeon was a little bit unlucky, but I have high hopes for Gyeongnam to steal that last promotion spot.
Fair dues. Well, I've got Eland as well, Matthew, in 5th. Yeah, I mean, Osmar, Peter Makrilos is a great signing as well. Kim Young-uk is their new captain. He signed him from Daejeon. He wanted to give him a new contract, but he wanted a longer deal, and obviously signed for Seoul Eland. So I think they're gonna do all right this year. And that new kit, both of them, the home one especially, it's a work of art. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Probably the best one that they've ever made, and they've made some bloody good ones as well. But what a kit! Right, let's move up into 4th. Bit of a stronger chance of winning promotion via the playoffs in 4th. Matthew, who have you got?
Songnam.
Songnam.
I don't know. It was the way Andrew was going on about them. Not Andrew. Well, Andrew did talk about them as well, but I just feel slightly positive about them. I don't know why. I think it's like when they went down the first time. They had to have a season in the wilderness before they regrouped, and I feel that they are doing a good job of regrouping. So 4th.
Yeah, it's been a sort of a winter of intent, hasn't it? With some of the signings they've made, like Yu Sang-hoon, the goalkeeper, Ali Bayev, Lee Jong-hyop, others that I've forgotten. But yeah, they're doing the right thing in terms of recruitment. Andrew, who have you got in 4th?
I nearly went for Soliland in 3rd because I bought into this Peter Makrilos Osmar thing. They had the highest attendance in the league last season. I was going to go for them in 3rd spot, but I've gone for Soliland in 4th. Everything you guys have said, I think, is true. I think it's going to be a really exciting season in Mukdong. And they have a manager who likes to play kamikaze type of football. It's always pretty exciting to watch. Suwon FC for the last couple of seasons. So with the signings that they've made, I think Soliland are going to have a great year.
Fair dues. In 4th, I've got the Jeonnam Dragons. I always put them in the top 4 or 5, and they've let me down. But this year, I think they're going to do it. Partly because of Valdivia, they managed to keep him, despite apparent links to Suwon Blue Wings. I think if they had more money, they might have been able to sort of prize him away from the Dragon Dungeon. But yeah, I don't know. I've got reason to feel like if Valdivia, who could probably pick any team in Korea almost, if he's staying, there must be a reason why. So 4th for me for the Dragons. Right, the top 3. This is 3rd place, the team that gets a bit of a bye into a playoff final of sorts. Matthew, who have you got finishing 3rd?
Gimpo. I think
Gimpo again,
they won't be disappointed with that, but I think they're going to do it again.
Wow. Fair play. Andrew?
Yeah, Gimpo as well. Back-to-back seasons finishing 3rd. They realistically, I think Gimpo could probably finish anywhere between 3rd and 8th this season, but I've got them to finish 3rd.
I've got Songnam. because I just think they are good, but not as good as the top two, basically.
Yeah.
Obvious, really. Speaking of, Matthew, who do you have finishing as runners-up in K-League 2 in 2024?
I've got the choice between Busan and Suwon Blue Wings, and
Yeah.
I mean, do I have to? I mean, I'm not a massive fan of either side. Suwon Blue Wings, second.
Suwon Blue Wings in second. All right, Andrew. Who have you got? Because I think we're all probably going to say the same thing.
No, I've gone for Busan in second.
Oh, okay.
I've gone for Busan. Although I think it'd be hilarious if An, as you said, the most dangerous North Korean, scores the goals that bring Busan back to the promised land at the expense of his former side. But I think the Blue Wings have the best squad and the best starting 11 in the league. They probably don't have the best manager, but if that can somehow click for them, I think Busan will have to make do with second.
Fair enough. I've got Suwon Blue Wings in second as well. I just think that they haven't. I mean, they've kept a lot of their squad, or enough of their squad from last year. They're sort of K-League 1 quality players like Acosti. Munich surely can do something in K-League 2. Kim Bo-kyung surely can be effective in K-League 2. But they just haven't brought in enough, I think, especially at the back as well. They haven't really... I don't know. I mean, it depends on what formation that they're going to play. If it's a back four, maybe I don't know. But
I think as well for me, there's two other things. I mean, this is actually giving them credit then finishing them in second, because the two things I think that might factor into their downfall is I just don't think. I think that it's a bit cliche, but I think a lot of clubs are going to be really up for playing them. I think that first round of games, that every away ground they go to, they're going to be facing teams fired up to face and lots of supporters, and then they're going to hit Yongin for a while, which is even difficult to reach from Suwon. So I think as well they might see like they'll lose a bit of an edge there, and we don't really know what Yongin's going to be like because the atmosphere it's playing, because it's got a running track and stuff. So I feel those things will go against them, but they're still too good, like Andrew says. But yeah, anyway, but Yom Ki-hun is at the wheel.
Yeah. So Andrew, you've got them to finish first.
Yeah, I'm unconvinced. I think had they just gone for like a grizzled old K-League 2 specialist, just a win at all costs, get promoted, don't do a Songnam this season, and worry about lingering. I don't think they made the right decision with the manager, but we won't know for sure until the season's going on. But I still think they probably have the best starting 11. They've got loads of guys who have plenty of K-League 1 experience, and I think there's plenty of lads there who could definitely do a job in the K-League 1 still. And Kachki, I think just keeping him, he's got so much class about him in midfield, and he's going to be coming up against players of lesser ability. He's going to have more time with the ball. I just think that he's the type of guy who could run the show for them this season. If they had gone for a different manager than Yom Ki-hun, I would have them nailed on to go up automatically. But he is the one thing that's making me, or he's the one person who's making me think otherwise.
Fair enough. Right then, so who have we got as Matthew? I'm guessing that you've picked Busan I-Park to win.
I have.
K-League
They're
2.
going to, despite themselves, they'll find a way of finishing first this season. I don't know how they'll do it. I don't know how they'll nearly mess it up, but they'll somehow mess it up and then still somehow find themselves top. I think. I mean, it was just a disappointing end for them last season. I think they should have gone up last year. I can't believe how many times they threw it away. How it might not happen again this season. I think that last year they probably shouldn't have. I mean, they should have. Sorry, they should have finished first. But I think starting out from the beginning of the season, you wouldn't have had them to finish first last season.
Yeah.
Finishing second should have been a good finish for them, but it just felt ultimately disappointing this year. I think they've got the team, they've built on it, they've got some really good signings, so theoretically it should be first.
Yeah, I picked Busan to finish first just because I think they're going to be like fuming when they start the season. They're going to be so just ready, fired up to sort of make sure that they start strongly and put last year behind them. Players like Lamas as well, who we saw in tears, didn't we? After it all went wrong on the last game of the regular season when they could have gone up that late equalizer from Chungbuk Chungju. So I don't know. I think as well, like Yom Ki-hoon is a factor with Suwon Blue Wings. I think Park Jin-sop is a big factor in Busan. He's done it before, got out of this league, with actually probably a slightly lesser squad than Busan. I think they probably got more names and a more of a talented squad than what he had at Gwangju. So, yeah, Busan to win the league for me. But let's see. Let's see how it all unfolds and how bad these predictions are. But